Hello and welcome to Chalk and Wire's Reporting Updates webinar. This webinar will provide you with an overview of our new reporting features in Table of Contents, Student Results, and Results Analytics, which was released to you on August 10th, 2018. First, we'll review the main menu updates for all users. The biggest change that all users will notice with this upgrade applies to how they navigate within their account. The main menu has been reconfigured to provide easier access to the tools that are used most often, as well as to provide more appropriate and intuitive grouping of similar features. All user types will see the addition of new quick links at the top of their menu, a new reporting menu, and a new help menu. For students, the new quick links include access to their My Coursework, My Results, and My Field Placement screens, as these are the features used most often by students. Within the new reporting menu, students will have access to their My Results screen and the tag reporting tool if your institution uses this feature. The help menu allows students to access the user guide, request support from our support team, and review the recently added or enhanced features. For assessors, the new quick links include access to their assessment and field placement screens. Within the new reporting menu, assessors will have access to their student results screen and the tag reporting tool, if your institution is using that feature. We have also given assessors access to the Results Analytics reporting tool, formerly called Results Live. This option is available to assessors in their reporting menu and allows them to generate reports on their own students' assessments and results. Just like with students, the Help menu allows assessors to access the user guide, request support from our support team, and review the recently added or enhanced features. For administrators, the new quick links include access to the assessment and field placement screens. Within the new reporting menu, administrators will have access to all of the reporting tools in Chalk and Wire. These include My Results, Student Results, Results Analytics, Iterator Reliability, Tag Reporting, Assessment Time Report, and System Activity Report. Just like with students and assessors, the Help menu allows administrators to access the user guide, request support from the support team, and review the recently added or enhanced features. Before moving on, I'm just going to go ahead and check and make sure if we have any questions at this point. Okay, looks like we're good. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. So for our reporting updates, I'm going to briefly describe the changes made to the system with the images here, and then I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate a few of the live workflows in the system. So if you've ever wanted to see who has or hasn't submitted against specific sections of your tables of contents, or if you've wanted to be able to filter your information by date, instrument, or user, these new updated table of contents filtering options are going to enhance your knowledge and going to be a real help to you. You will be able to sort and filter by specific departments. You can now choose specific instruments, even if more than one is used within that table of contents or on a specific section. And then you can go ahead and select a specific section even to be able to filter by. You can even choose to include or exclude expired users' work and collaborative workspace. Using the instrument and content section filters together will provide more specific information as to who is yet to submit when you're looking at unsubmitted work. There are times when administrators or faculty would like to ensure that students have been able to review the feedback provided to them. With the new results seen status shown in student results, that can now take place. Once a student opens up the summary or details of their assessment, a timestamp is placed on the assessment and can be seen by the admins and assessors through editing your results search area in student results. If this is something you would want enabled all the time, you can make this a default setting. Now, moving into what we formerly called Results Live, we see it's now been renamed Results Analytics. In this upgrade, we've been able to fulfill many requests that have been shared by our clients regarding enhancements to this, our largest reporting tool. One of the first things you will see is that when you look at the report library, there are now searching and sorting capabilities provided. This will be extremely helpful if you already have many saved reports or many shared reports that go between different groups. It'll be easy now to search by name or sort through the list. You'll immediately see the new option to use live data versus cached data when running your reports. For traditional quick reports, using live data will provide you with the same functionality you're used to. However, by using the cached data option, the time it takes to run reports with large data sets will dramatically decrease. This will be helpful when you're wanting to report maybe multiple years worth of data or multiple, many students' data at one time. Exporting to Excel will still be the option for data that includes more than approximately 5,000 cells in a table. So exporting directly to Excel should still happen in that type of an instance. You'll see that there's now a new conversational report setup process, and that's available right at the top of your results analytics screen. This will also help to be able to let your reports run faster. It kind of walks you through the sentence that you want to create in what you want run. Many basic report settings are also now available to assessors, as mentioned previously, for their personal assessment data. The advanced filters to which you are accustomed are still available. You'll also see, though, new filter options added: filtering by student, department, or group, table of contents and section, assessor department and group, and even department contact lists. Finally, new calculation and output options have been added to the advanced filters area as well to allow you to include resubmission assessment scores and the scoring range of lowest to highest scores in your reports. At this time, we're going to go ahead and go out to demonstrate some of these new features. I'm going to go ahead and log into one of our test sites. And the first thing we're going to do is go to Curriculum and Table of Contents to show these new Table of Contents features. I'm going to go ahead and view one of my tables of contents. And the new features are found on the Portfolio Progress and the All Unsubmitted tabs. On Portfolio Progress, you'll see a note here that says that only the results from the previous 4 weeks are shown by default. So what you can do here is just change your options in your portfolio search to go back as far as you'd like. You'll see the option to filter by department, user, and group is present. Again, this is very helpful if you have more than one department group that submits against one table of contents. You can also filter by an individual user, choose to include or exclude collaborative workspaces or use only collaborative workspaces, and choose to include any expired users. So once you've made your selections, just click search, and then your data will appear here. Just like we've had before, when you click on any of the rows, you will be given options to view progress details or view the submissions that have taken place. There's also now an export button for you to be able to go ahead and send this information right out of your system. On the All Unsubmitted tab, we have a few extra features. So again, very similar to what we had seen on the Portfolio Progress tab, we now also have the ability to go ahead and choose specific instruments that you want to see. And again, this would be beneficial if you have, just one instrument against maybe many different sections of this table of contents. Or if you'd like to be able to see it by a specific section or page of the table of contents, you can also choose this. Now, when we search, we'll see that this was the only section pulled up in our reports. Here was the assessment instrument, and then here's any content completion that has taken place. So none yet here, and only partial completion for this user. Again, this is on the All Unsubmitted tab, so I'm seeing sections that have not yet been submitted by these users. If I wanted to uncheck this and just choose an instrument, you'll see it only gives me the instruments listed for this specific table of contents. And so here again, searching by an instrument, I find my users. I can select multiple pages within the table of contents at one time. Choose no instrument if I just want to see multiple sections. And again, I can then sort this information by the report, even just by clicking on section. Again, the export button is here. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to student results. So we go from the main menu to reporting and then student results. So here we talked about the fact that now we can see this results seen option for students. So when we click on results search, again, we can change date ranges for any kind of view that we want to see. I can even choose a specific student. I'm going to do that in this instance. And then I'm just going to say display results seen status and search. So now all of the results within that time frame for that one student are going to be shown. And then anywhere where the student has actually gone in to see the results will show with a results seen mark in the score. You can also see this by looking at view summary or view details when clicking on the assessment row. You'll see it shows up right here next to assessed with a check mark, results seen, and the timestamp when the student would have seen these results. So what the student has to do to make this appear is to either click on the Go to Chalk and Wire link in the email that they receive after an assessment has been completed, and then actually when they click on that link and go in to view that assessment, this will automatically pop up. The students don't have to do anything else other than come to the screen. Or they can go to their My Results section in Chalk and Wire from the main menu, and when they click on any of the results to view their view summary or view details, it will, this will automatically apply for them as well. Okay, so our last area is going to be going back under the main menu in reporting. And now we're going to results analytics, which obviously has been the largest change of these reporting features. So as I demonstrated in our PowerPoint, the report library at the top here has made some changes in the ability to search by keywords and then select a report, or be able to sort by name or by date created. Once you have a report that you want to review, you can just click Load Report if you've already got one saved, and the information will automatically populate for you here. You can also still use the Advanced Filters area, and you'll see that all of your data has pre-populated into this area as well. Now, if I'm not using a saved report and I just want to build a new report, I can clear the filters that are currently set and it resets my page. Now, I also described the use of the live data versus cached data. If you're curious what your cache settings are, you can just click right here on the little information icon, and it will tell you exactly what your cache is set to be. If you chose to use your cache, you would just click on this, and it automatically would populate whatever was set up in that cache. You can still make changes to your assessment sentence, as well as go to advanced filters and change any of the options. Again, I'm going to clear this just to reset our filters. And I'm going to go ahead and just choose to use some live data right now. So the new process of using this conversational assessment mode is really just to follow along with the words. So you can choose for submissions assessed or submitted just by clicking on the word. My menu options appear. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as assessed between these dates. So I can just click on that to change my dates. And then I'm going to apply those date changes. If I wanted to add comparison dates, I would just click on the plus sign and it would give me the ability to add more date ranges as well. Then I continue my sentence. So for the submissions assessed between these dates, show me the, and here if I click, I get all my different output options. Do I want to see the overall average, my performance levels by counts or percents, and so on. All of these have not changed, just the look is just a little bit different. But the second I make a choice there, my sentence continues automatically for me. So now it's show me the performance levels percent and list the results by, and so I'm going to go ahead and then I can choose here, criterion, assessment instrument, and so on and so forth. Again, the options there haven't changed, just the way that it looks. But the second I make a choice, it continues my sentence. So in the case of multiple submissions, what do I want it to do? I do want it to include all submissions. And how do I want it to calculate the instrument means? And I can still just keep this as using criterion scores or overall scores. Again, the difference between these is that when you're using criterion scores, your N is going to be the number of criterion on the rubric times the number of submissions that were assessed. When you're looking at your means against overall scores, your N is going to be the number of submissions that were assessed. So at this point, my sentence is done. And now I can say filter results to the instruments, and I can choose my specific instrument. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my ethical leadership assessment. And at this moment, I can click generate and go right from here. Now we can also choose some advanced filters, but I'm going to do this one first, and then we can go back and add those filters as well so you can see the difference in what the data does. So when we click generate report, here it shows me my data. So I have an N of 20, my mean, and these were my percentage performance levels on this assessment. Now, beyond this point, clicking browse and drilling down into all that data looks exactly the same as what you're used to and what you've seen in the past. So nothing has changed in that regard. Now, when we go to advanced filters, like I said, using this new conversational sentence just really eases the user in walking through, oh, what should I change next? But all that information has been automatically populated as you've been selecting things. So here now, if I wanted to make some changes and I wanted to say, okay, great, so I saw all the data, but if I wanted to look at that by a specific table of contents section, I can now do that. So I'm going to have a list of all my tables of contents. I'm going to select the one I want, and then I'm going to say, okay, I want to see that assignment, but only what was submitted to this specific page of the table of contents. As you'll see here, form responses are still there. Those haven't changed. You've got student department group. You've got filter by assessor department group, individual assessors, department contact lists. Those are all new options. And then under the calculation and output options, you'll see resubmission scores are listed right here, as well as show score range. We talked about that is now a new feature to show the lowest and highest scores. So I've added some different options here, and now I want to go ahead and see how that changes the data that I had. So I'll just go ahead and click Generate Report again. So now you'll see that for this instrument, my N changed dramatically. So what that tells me is that a lot of the assessments that were done on this instrument were not done from the table of contents and that specific section page that I selected in my filters. So that's good to know if you're trying to track a specific what was submitted from this page or what's the data only from that page. This will be a great help for you. As you'll see, when I added my lowest and highest score, now that's also shown. Again, totally makes sense within my data and what we were seeing. So that can be a good help for you as well. So at this time, we've demonstrated all of the new reporting features and kind of looked at all the different advanced filters, shown what you can do and how you can apply them. And so at this time, I'll go ahead and open up my control panel and just see if there's any questions. Okay, great. I've got a couple good questions so far. The first question was, please repeat the definition of criterion scores versus overall scores. So that's great. I'm happy to do that. So let me just move my control panel here for a second. So when you're looking here at criterion scores versus overall scores, and again, this also shows up under calculation and output options if you're looking under advanced filters. When you report by criterion scores, this is the number of criterion on your instrument times the number of assessments that were made. So you're actually getting, if you have 10 criterion on your instrument and you had 5 students assessed against that instrument, you would see an N of 50 because 50 individual pieces of data, criterion, were scored and were used to come up with that mean. So your N is 50, your mean is whatever it is, 2.5, 3.7, whatever, but that's what's going to be reflected in your mean. Sometimes that confuses people and they're going, wait, we didn't have 50 people do this? And that's totally understandable. So if you like the overall score option, then what happens is that it's using, say for each student, their overall score on this instrument was a 2.4, a 3.7, or whatever. So then what they're doing is they're using the overall score from that to get your mean. So there were only 5 overall scores since there were only 5 assessments. So your N will be 5, and then your mean will be whatever the mean of those overall scores was. So the way I like to think of it is that if I choose overall scores here, I'm getting the mean of the mean. If I choose criterion scores, I'm getting the mean of each individual piece of data that was scored. So I hope that helps explain that one. Now another question, let's see here, was the table of contents portfolio progress piece. Is that available to assessors? So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just log in. This person has assessor rights. And we're going to go to curriculum, table of contents, and we'll go ahead and go, let's see here, I've got to find, view this table of contents. So they do not. That one is only for admins. They do have access, because I wanted to show this anyway, but to results analytics. They do have access to this. We talked about that in the demonstration. And so I wanted to show that the process for them would be exactly the same that we saw earlier, how they build their report and get their data. And so then this would be, only if they have data within this time period. Let me see if we've got, I think that this person assessed just within a different time period. Let's see. Yes, they did. So now they can see their own data here. Okay. Another question I got here was, when I go to the instrument, I'm assuming it means within the result, the reporting analytics, It doesn't like you can do a search, and that we know about. We've actually already put that in as a ticket, and so that should be released as long as everything goes well with testing in tomorrow morning's release. So when you're searching for instrument, the all departments option that used to be here that you could click on and then do a search in this column, it will be back because we realized that right away. So they've already added that back in. Okay. Any further questions that I can answer? Okay. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and close our webinar time. We will be posting the recorded version of this webinar on our support documentation site within 24 hours if you'd like it to watch this again or use it as a resource. If you have any questions, go ahead and just send us an email at support@chalkandwire.com, or you can contact us at 866-949-6800, extension 1, and we would be glad to assist you. So thank you everyone for attending, and have a wonderful day.